Coach Todd here. Wanted to make a video for you today with some tips on how to gain mass with P90X during your exercises. If you go to rippedclub.net, you can read all about my diet, but today I want to focus on what you can do during your workouts to maximize your results when you're trying to bulk up, trying to put on some size. So the first thing you want to do is you want to operate in a 6 to 8 rep range. And now in the videos, Tony Horton says if you want to add some size, you got to do 8 to 10 reps. Well, bump it down to 6 to 8 reps. And what that's going to do is that's going to help tear more muscle fiber. That's going to increase the workload on your muscles, and that's going to require more recovery. But the more good, we call it good damage, the more good damage you can do to the muscle and recover better, the more size you're going to gain. And what I do with those 6 to 8 reps, because I've gotten a lot stronger since I've lost a lot of weight, and you might have this too, is you'll notice, okay, well, I can do like 20 pull-ups. How am I gonna modify my pull-ups? Well, here's what I do. I snag a backpack, and I put a 20-pound, there's a 20-pound plate in here. I put this on, and then cinch it up, and I wear this my entire workout for chest and back. And this keeps me in an 8 to 10 range on pull-ups. I'm actually getting stronger even with 20 pounds in this backpack, so I'm going to have to increase the weight as you continue to get stronger to make sure you're staying in that 6 to 8 range. So that's one option, is to get a backpack or like a really good weighted vest. That's also a great option. Also, a really good way to really get great results when you're trying to bulk and add size is to focus on what's called eccentric training. And you might have also heard it called negative training. So, and I'll go into what that means here. So there's 3 different types of muscle contractions. There's concentric, there's isometric, and there's eccentric. Concentric is during the contraction of the muscle where the muscle is being shortened. So let's say I'm doing a biceps, or we'll do hammer curls. So say I'm doing a hammer curl. The concentric contraction of the muscle is during when I'm going up to the top of the move, okay, and the muscle is being shortened, okay. That's concentric. Isometric, there's the iso hold bicep curls in P90X. So my right arm here isn't doing anything. It's in an isometric hold position. Okay, and what that means is that the muscle is under contraction, but it's not in motion. So that's an isometric contraction right here. Okay, and then there's eccentric, which is where you want to focus when you're bulking. Now, one thing I do want to caution is that it is very easy to overtrain if you focus on eccentric training too much. So don't overdo it. If maybe you do it every other move, or maybe you do it one day but you don't do it on your next lift day. So you're going to have to determine whether you overtrained or not, and you can push yourself to whatever your limit is. But be careful, don't overtrain. So back to the eccentric contraction. What that does is focuses on the lengthening of the muscle. So I'm at the top of my bicep curl here, and I'm at the top of my bicep curl, and then the eccentric motion is actually the lengthening of the muscle. And imagine gravity is trying to pull the weight back down, but my muscle is having to work hard to control that weight to bring it down to the lower position. And actually, your muscle works about 40% harder during the eccentric contraction than the isometric and concentric contraction. Everybody's focusing on, you see people just tossing up weights like this. Well, you don't want to be doing that if you're trying to gain size. You want controlled motions. What I do a 5 count. I explode up. So there's one, and then I do my eccentric training motion with a 5 count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Explode back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And when you do that, what happens, here's basically how it works. Okay, so microtrauma occurs during the lengthening of the muscle, and while it's trying to maintain control during that contraction. Okay, and when that happens, there's cellular damage, or that tearing of the muscle fiber, the good damage. Okay, and then in turn, it stimulates the release of growth factors, and it sends your muscles into an anabolic frenzy, and you're going to build muscle, basically. So, like I said, 40% more work is done by the muscles during that eccentric contraction. So, that's what I'm doing during my workouts to build mass, adding weight to stay in that 6 to 8 rep range, and focusing on eccentric training. So, if you guys have any questions, leave your questions in the comments. Go ahead and visit me at rippedclub.net. Love to hear you guys on the website. I'm writing articles every day, so you can check those out and find out what I'm up to, or just get tons of information. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and keep bringing it, Rip Club. Later, guys.